Ringo, can I invite you to pull your PPT up and let's
OK,
let's have a
no
go.
problem, no problem. 大家好。我叫 Ringo，我很想跟大家用普通话去讲，但是我的普通话因为真的太普通了，所以是不可以，所以我们就是用音乐吧，好不好？
Okay, cool.
Okay, so I just have to have a little bit introduction about myself. As I mentioned a couple of times, my name is Ringo, and I'm a real estate agent in Toronto. I have my own team right now, and okay, give 1 second. Let me put you guys. I have currently I own a property management company as well. I manage rental properties with a lot of my client portfolio, and currently I have approximately 90 properties under management. And so when I'm building up this team at the age of 29, I'm 34 right now. My goal is to have one-stop full service to my client. Okay, so this is why a lot of my client is coming from Hong Kong, mainland China, or even Singapore. So in 2009, I opened up my branch in Hong Kong to ensure that it served the Asia Pacific region. Because in the last 10 or 15 years, we have seen a lot of capital outflow coming off from either Hong Kong, China, and all around this Asia Pacific region. And one of my team member who speak a little bit of Vietnamese, Jack, is actually doing very well this year because of the fact that he knows some of the Vietnamese. So anyway, just a little bit introduction of myself. I'm coming from a realty office called 5i5J Realty. Okay. This realty office is basically a Chinese publicly listed company. We serve in 16 major cities. So those of you who is watching in China right now using the Chinese platform may know what 5i5J Realty is. In Chinese, we call it 我爱我家. Then I myself have office in Toronto and Hong Kong, as I mentioned. Okay, so what we aim for, okay, is that we are doing a lot of social media platform, because I think this is how the world going to shape in the near future. This is how we're actually going to work. We don't really need an in-person meeting. Okay, so for example, like Jimmy know my uncle very well, but Jimmy didn't meet me in person, but then we get along with each other. So that is why I'm coming off in this show. Am I right, Jimmy? Hello? I think they're mute, so that's why. Okay, so I think this is what's going to be happening in the future, is that a lot of people are doing everything virtually. Okay, as I know that both Tao is working working as a developer and builders, but I do have a strong tie with relationship with developer and builders, because I'm the one who is designing their floor plan, as well as giving off idea of what is hot in the market right now. Okay, yeah. So things that I have to talk about because of COVID-19. Okay, it changes our human behavior, and also it changes the whole housing market. Okay, before we have people living in downtown, which is 5 minutes away from their workplace or the university class, but now we have people moving off to suburban area. Okay, for those of you guys who may not know what is suburban area is like at around 30 minutes to an hour and a half drive from the city core. Okay, this is due to the fact that a lot of people are working from home right now. Okay, and more importantly, there are a lot of school courses that is happening in their hometown or country right now. So we have seen a lot of university students are moving back to China because of the fact that they can do online school courses in their hometown. And this have a deeply impact to our Toronto real estate market. Okay, I will throw out some number afterward. Okay, in later on in the slide. And another thing that we have on the COVID-19 is that we have loss of employment due to rising unemployment rate because of the COVID-19. Okay, for example, like right now, the wages, flight attendants, pilot is our work right now. But we also have another sector that is doing pretty well, which is AI and people who work in the technology sector are doing very well. Okay, so COVID-19 and real estate. Okay, definitely COVID-19 is definitely changing all around the world. Okay, the work culture is changing. That's 100% sure. Okay, I believe even if the pandemic is over, people are starting to work from home. Okay, that's 100%. We are they may not need to go to office every single day. They might be going to office like once in every week or even once a month. Okay, so the type of housing that is very popular in Toronto or what I'd say Southern Ontario will be the places that is around an hour drive from Toronto. All right, okay. We're talking about area, if you guys been into Toronto before, like Stouffville, Newmarket, Keswick, those areas are becoming very popular. Okay, and we have seen the prices grow tremendously by like 20 to even 40% in the last few months. However, for those of you who think that the real estate market will crash, especially in the downtown core, they might be a little bit disappointed. First of all, from the peak until now, we have seen the market down by approximately 15%, 1.5 in a short period of time. Okay, and this is basically the profit margin that the developer can make in building up a condo. And more importantly, what's so good about it is that there are news saying that actually not a news, like the federal government of Canada have announced that they will allow 1.2 million people coming to Canada, okay? And approximately, because of the fact that Toronto is the economic hub of Canada as a whole, approximately half of them will come to Toronto eventually. Okay, so as you see, like in terms of the number, the sole record in the GTA, compared to October, we are, as of September, we have a sole record of 8,636. Okay, but in October we have 9,200 and even up to 9,600. Okay. And compared to what happened last year is already approximately around 20% increase, okay, when we come to resale. So what we suggest people to do, as we always state, is to when you're buying real estate, is to leverage, okay? because of leverage, you will be able to get a lot more out of it. For example, if you put down like I'm not sure how long is the building period in UK, okay, but I assume that the building period in UK is somewhat in the 3 to 4 years time. In Canada, it's a little bit different. Because of COVID-19, because we are short of building labor, because of the fact that our profit margin from the developers is becoming slimmer and slimmer. Our project usually take like 7 years apart. Okay, unlike UK, our project need to be sold in order to be built. Okay, but I'm not sure about on the UK side. But I guess I will elaborate more afterward. So if you let's say if you put down 20% down payment of a 500K project right now, okay, in 7 years time we are being very conservative and assuming that the market is only go up by 50%, then by that time the value of your project becomes 750K. Okay, then the 100K investment will going to garner approximately around 250K profit. Okay, this is a very high return investment, but also there are some risks involved on that. Okay, I will talk about it later. Okay, so we are looking at the rental market right now. Okay, as you can see, the existing rental has been jacked up tremendously compared to last year because of the fact that people are moving out of the city right now. This will happen to be changed once the border reopen again. Okay, once once the pandemic is over, once the vaccine is there, we will start to see more and more rental people coming in and then driving down the rental listing. Okay, in terms of new building, it's actually more than last year. Okay. Investor purchase, we have seen the investors tend to stay the same. We still see some of their investment fund trying to invest in the downtown core and rent out as well, but obviously not as hot as last year. And another one will be previously occupied. Okay. So this is the rental market so far. All right. Okay. And also what we happen to see is that in the Toronto area in September, it were up by 53% above last year volume. Okay. When we're talking about semi-detached, townhouse, and detached, because of the fact that what happened in Toronto is that people think that condo is now no longer a feasible place to live. If they have a choice, if they can choose to move further, and if they can choose to live in a bigger space with a similar amount of money or a little bit higher, they would choose to do so. So this is the number of active listing around the area right now. Which we saw that is a little bit smaller than last year. Okay, is a little bit less than last year. Number of new listing, on the other hand, is more than last year because of the fact that our housing market, I'm referring to our housing market, not the condo market, is actually doing very well. So housing market in Toronto right now, okay? When I'm referring to the housing market, okay, I'm referring to the low-rise market, which is a detached townhouse, semi, and also back-to-back townhouse. Okay, it's actually doing a lot better than previous. We only have 1.3 months of inventory. For those of you who know much about real estate, we know that anything that is under 3 months is totally a seller's market. So this is why that the housing market in Toronto right now is a seller's market, okay? And the average price that we see jack up significantly, okay? From last year. Last year, for the housing price, last year, January, it went to a bottom of 900,000, and now it's over 110,000, okay? So you guys may wonder, like, how come it's still not peaked yet compared to year 2017? Because the government implemented a foreign buyer tax in the recent years, okay, which caused a huge drop in the housing prices, okay? And I believe in UK right now, correct me if I'm wrong, is that they do not have a foreign buyer tax, okay? They terminate for a bit. So this is why the housing price for UK seems to be doing well. But the government is thinking about it. They may potentially turn it off if the market goes south. So after finishing talking about the housing statistic, it's time for me to talk about the bad news, which is the condo sector, okay? The condo sales, in terms of sales, we were still up compared to last year, okay? But it's very unfortunate that our market is flooded of new listing, okay? In terms of month of inventory, we turn out to be coming from seller's market, which is under 2 months, to 2.7 in September. So if you see that the number of new listing happening in condo it got jacked up significantly, okay? And for those of you who is outside of Canada, mainly the downtown condo is made up of investor, okay? So only 30% are owned for personal use. So this is the house statistic coming off from different type of regions. All right, so let me know if you guys have any questions. Feel free to contact me. And if you guys want to know more about Toronto real estate, feel free to go on my Facebook or move on to my website, okay? Thank you, and I'll leave it to Tao.
Thank you, Ringo. You hear
No
me?
problem, no problem.
Yeah, thank you, Ringo. And I got a couple of questions. You still there?
Yeah, I'm still there. I'm still there.
Yeah, I know you have a young baby that you need to. You didn't sleep last night, and you need to go back and have some sleep and looking after the baby. But
actually, I'm waiting for the Manchester United game.
Oh dear. I have a very interesting question. You talk about the condo, which we call apartments or flats in the UK. Yep. It's quite, the market is quite depressed, right? In Canada, and we experience the similar sort of things in the UK, especially in London, because during COVID, people like to reside in accommodation with a garden, so the kids can go out and play and etc. But one interesting thing where many people talk about, I know your family is from Hong Kong, but historically also you live in Canada. There's a huge population of Hong Kong immigrants in Canada. In the UK, they talk about this new wave of Hong Kong immigrants coming to UK because of the passport thing. It's quite political. We don't want to get into that, but we're expecting a huge wave of Hong Kong residents coming over to the UK. Do you think Hong Kong residents prefer condos or flats, apartments, than the proper, the houses, freehold houses with a garden, etc.? So I'm saying that if there's a new wave of Hong Kong people coming over to the UK, would they resolve the issue of depressed markets in that sector?
Well, that's a very good question. Okay, so what I realized because I myself, as I said, like I have a real estate office in Hong Kong. Okay, and we're doing well. Like we're selling like 1 or 2 flats per week, approximately. What I realized about, but then our type of returning Hong Konger is different than the people who is coming off to UK right now.
Right.
People who is coming off from UK right now are the one that is carrying a BNO. Okay. They may not be living in UK before. Okay. And they just come here. Okay, carrying their passport. Okay. Most likely they're younger. Okay. And also they may not be as financially stable as the one who may be coming off from to Toronto, because the one that's coming off from Toronto, coming to Toronto, is actually came here 20 years ago, and then they went back, and then they came here, and then they come back again. Okay. Anyway, going back to your questions, is that are they going to prefer flat, or are they going to prefer condo? Okay. I myself personally, if it is in Toronto, they will most likely prefer something that they don't have to do anything on. Okay, which is condo, because of the fact that they came here 20 years ago. You know, we know how cold Canada is. They hate to shovel the snow. They hate to do any garden work. Okay, so the first question that they come to me is that, do I have to shovel snow? Is there anyone who is taking care of it? So this is why that the condo townhouse is being very popular nowadays. Okay, for the returning Hong Kong. In addition of that, I do think that people who is coming off from, I think it's more affordable for a condo in UK than a townhouses, right? In London. Right?
Generally speaking, yes.
Yeah. So I think because of the younger generation, I think it will be more popular in UK. Because I remember I went to UK like 3 years ago, 4 years ago. Okay, and then the flat there is like, if you're talking about someone, is it still someone £2,000 per square foot? Is it still true?
It depends on the specific location. In the zone 1, there's some very expensive locations. Obviously, it'll be a lot more. But in the UK, Tal, have you calculated per square meterage the prices as of average?
I think if Ringo talks about prime central London, £2,000 per square foot, it's about right. Obviously, we're not talking about the most expensive street. But that seems to be about a fair assumption. You got certain places lower, certain places higher, but that's about right.
But how about like zone 3 or zone 4?
3 and 4s, they're about 500 to 700 per square feet. I don't know about Toronto, but UK market is very segmented. And say if you take West London, certain parts of West London per square foot price could be almost double of East London, even if you're talking about zone 3s or zone 4s. So West London zone 4 could be significantly higher than East London zone 3, zone 4s.
Yes. So what happened in Toronto is that there are only little gap between the suburb and the core. Okay, it's only around like $200, $300 different Canadian dollars difference per square foot. So I do believe that the condo market will be more suitable to the Hong Konger. because of the younger generation. Younger generation tend to like to live in condo more.
Yeah, so that, the reason why I'm asking that question is that, for all listeners, the property investors, to get ready for this wave of Hong Kongers coming over to the UK, there might be an opportunity to acquire a number of condos or apartments in central London, good locations, that they target at this specific Hong Kong renters or potentially buyers, to make money that way. Would that be a potential, do you think?
My view, I think it's going to be a huge potential, because what happened is when you're attracting young talent in Hong Kong, okay, they are the one who have the productivity. They are the one who is able to get a good job, okay, and also because of the fact that Hong Kong have a very low tax bracket, okay. When you're referring to the middle class in Hong Kong, you're looking for a net worth of approximately around $1 million or $1.5 million US, okay, which is more than enough of affording the condo here in London, I believe. Yeah,
true.
Because I do think that there are one project that is selling in Hong Kong right now, which is owned by Cousin Lee.
Okay.
And they are doing very well from what I hear. And all my friends who real estate that is doing real estate agency in Hong Kong are doing very well on selling UK houses.
Yeah, that Convoy Wolf you talked about, actually it used to be next door to where I used to work. Li Ka-sheng, he bought the property, bought the land, I don't know, over 10, 15 years ago.
It's a Canary Wolf.
No, Convoy Wolf.
Convoy.
Yeah,
Yes.
it's in Greenwich, Deptford area. And basically, only because of this political drama, and he got a planning permission to build 6,000 houses. And those houses are specifically targeted at Hong Kong immigrants. So that drives up the whole area's property prices up by quite a lot. So it's a good thing, and he's a very lucky man as well, I suppose.
Well, he got his first vision, right? So
yeah, that's true as well. Vision and luck, you have to combine both.
Well, he can't be wrong. He's a tycoon, right? Actually, I do have a lot of friends in Hong Kong right now. Like a lot of my family members in Hong Kong right now are really taking a deep thought of going off to London right now. Okay, because of the political unrest happening in Hong Kong.
Yes.
This is why, like, I think the UK condo or whatever, like UK, I think townhouses might be a good idea too. Will definitely be driving a huge demand. Yeah. Cool.
Another very quick question. Actually, I didn't quite get you. What's your relationship with 我爱我家? Is it like a partnership?
It's a partnership. So what happened is they set up the franchise here. They offered me a position as a vice president.
Right.
Okay. And when they offered me the position as a vice president, everyone was looking at, oh, who's this guy? This guy looked like he's in his 20s. Yeah. And yeah, because of I think my position is because the reason that they offered me this position is because of my strong tie with the developer. And I myself also involved in some of the developer investment as well. So I understand like what is the trouble that they're going for. Okay. I assume Tao will know. It happened everywhere in the world that the construction cost is crazily high right now. Okay. Our construction costs jumped by approximately around 15% higher than what it should be at the same time last year for no reason. Okay. Mainly because of that some of the supply is coming off from China, and then they can no longer coming off as convenient as they were before. and also there were delay of supply because of the fact that things supposed to be coming off from China is no longer there. For example, one of my developer friends are building off townhouses. Okay, they're missing all the granite countertop, all the cross countertop, because of the fact that those coming off from China are no longer there. They're trying to find a replaceable one. Okay, and it's very hard. It's very tough.
Cool. Tao, do you have any questions?
Well, just a very general question. Which town gets more, say, Asian or Chinese influx, Vancouver or Toronto? And what are the pros and cons of the two cities, or the features, if you like?
That's a pretty good questions. Okay.
Because I've been to both of them.
Yeah, because whenever I go into a meeting, okay, people ask me this. Okay. Even the one in Hong Kong are asking me this. Okay. The difference between Toronto and Vancouver is that Toronto is the economic hub. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
However, we tend not to attract the affluent Chinese into Toronto. Okay, because our weather is not as nice as Vancouver. Okay, our city climate or our city environment is not as nice as Vancouver. Okay, Vancouver is a perfect retirement city. You're talking about, if you like hiking, it's only half an hour drive. If you like fishing, you can it's a 15-minute drive to the port, and then you can just get your boat and then go on to fishing. In Toronto, we don't have that. Okay, here in Toronto is more of like a fast-paced environment. It's becoming more fast-paced than before. We have traffic jam everywhere. Okay, because people need to work, but what I see is that a lot of the affluent Chinese, the richest class of Chinese, are coming off from instead of investing in Vancouver, they're coming off to Toronto right now because they see the opportunity in Toronto. Like, although our weather, our environment is not as nice as Vancouver, but the one thing that we have that Vancouver do not have is the job. This is the number one thing that we talked about.
I thought it's the casinos, and as well as the closeness to New York attracts Chinese.
Actually, Vancouver have a lot of casino as well. But then think about it this way, because what happened in Vancouver, I saw your questions. I will answer afterward. But think about it this way, because of the fact that when the Chinese immigrants are immigrating to Canada, they are doing it because of their next generation. Okay, so they don't want the next generation to be retiring at the age of 24. Okay, even younger than I do. Their children most likely going to have a job in Toronto. So therefore, maybe after like 5-10 years in Vancouver, most of them choose to moving to Toronto right away. Okay. Anyway, I saw your questions. Any motivation for Canadian to invest in Linden while Canada is actively increasing?
Yeah, I think I felt that you might be a sort of an agency person. From this angle, they asked this question. They private message to me here. I'll just copy and paste it here. So in case this person got in after you've ended your slides, and it'd just be easier for this person to get in touch with you maybe after this. In case anyone wants to hook up with you about any. Yeah.
So what happened is, I think the Chinese Canadian, okay, are especially the one from Vancouver, as you mentioned, are the one that that can invest everywhere around the world. Okay. In terms of London, I think as long as the yield and investment return is making sense to them, I think they will do so. I have heard some of my clients investing in Manchester 2 years ago. Okay, so I'm not sure about the housing market in London right now, but I'm not going to be surprised that they will be interested of investing in London if the currency goes down a bit, or if the housing market makes sense to them. Okay.
Yeah, in fact, the both markets are very similar. I think going by your slides, we've got similar impact caused by the COVID, change of human habits, increased demand in houses and drop demand in condos. We call them flats here. Which is pretty much our next topic. Jimmy, shall we move on from here?
Yeah. Okay. Thank you, Ringo. By all means, if you want to stay, I know you're busy. By all means, if you want to get run off as well, so that's all fine. See you soon, and thank you very much for attending.
I think Ringo, with your permission, can I, because I had a copy of your slides, can I just copy your contact details here for that person to get in touch with you? I don't know what is exactly they're having in mind. Is that okay?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Jimmy have my contact.
What we do is I will invite you to our WeChat group, Ringo. So I believe we have a WeChat as well. So then people can contact you directly there.
Yeah.
Yeah, sure. I can type Chinese very easily.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's a little bit tough for me. Okay.
All right. Thank you. Cheers.
Okay.
Right.
Okay. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Jimmy.
非常感谢大家观看我们的视频节目，希望您能够喜欢，也欢迎在下方点赞或者评论。如果您想继续收看我们以后的视频节目，也欢迎您关注或者订阅我们的视频号。如果您想与我们的其他投资人或者我们的工作人员团队在微信群内进行互动或者私信，也欢迎您扫取屏幕中的二维码，有我们的公众号、服务号，也有我个人的微信号，也欢迎您登录我们公司网站了解更多详情。如果您觉得我们的视频内容对您和您身边的朋友有所启发和帮助，也欢迎您将它转发出去。予人玫瑰，手有余香。非常感谢您的支持，希望下期节目再见。